I'm pretty wounded, man. I was making my UFC Fight Night prediction video. I uploaded it to YouTube, did all the tags, did the thumbnail, did everything, uploaded it, and then I walked away, and then I come back and it said video couldn't be processed. I've lost the video. I deleted it from my computer when I uploaded it because I do that just to kind of not take up space. So there's no UFC prediction video today. I'll probably do it later in the week. I'm going to do Bellator tomorrow. But let's talk about Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. That's how down bad I am. I'm so down bad because I lost my UFC video for today. I'm going to talk about Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. I'm picking Jake Paul. I'm sorry, guys. I think a lot of people aren't going to like that. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with that. But Jake Paul, you can call him what you want. You can say what you want about him. But at the end of the day, Jake Paul does have a world-class boxing team behind him. And it's just kind of masked. Like, he's just kind of an idiot, you know what I mean? That everyone can laugh at, everyone can kind of make fun of. But at the end of the day, Jake Paul does have a professional team behind him. A world-class boxing team. This is the guy that wanted to fight Tommy Fury. This is the guy that wanted to fight Hasim Rahman Jr., 12-1. The son of a former champion. You know what I mean? Tommy Fury, the younger brother of Tyson Fury. You know, like a very serious... He's trying to fight these guys. And they're not quite materializing. He's got Anderson Silva in front of him this weekend. And Anderson Silva, I think he's the more skilled boxer. I think he's going to have better movement. I think he might even have the better cardio at the age of 48, which is kind of crazy to say because Jake Paul does kind of seem to be a guy that might slow down a little bit. But he's 48. He's 47 and a half years old. You know, Jake Paul's almost 26. Jake Paul's young. He's almost getting into the prime of his career, you know what I mean? He's making rapid development. The Jake Paul that showed up against Tyron Woodley, 9 months ago is not the same Tyron Woodley fighter that was months before that. And even before that, I mean, he fought Ben Askren and knocked him out very quickly, so I guess there's not much to say about that one. But he's just making these rapid improvements. And I see Jake Paul making rapid improvements. I feel like Anderson Silva at the age of 48, you're not going to be making improvements. Anderson Silva is already one of the greatest strikers of MMA history. I don't think he's going to be getting any better. I think at the point of 48 years old, I think he's fighting to keep that skill. And he's coming off a win over Tito Ortiz. I've seen so many meme videos about that fight, and Tito Ortiz just might be the worst striker in UFC history, potentially, just based off that fight alone, which is amazing. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which is a legitimate win, a year and 3 months ago in Mexico as well. And before that, you know, we're talking like 17 years ago, 24 years ago. Like, that's the age difference between these two, 22 years, and I think that age difference is going to matter in this one here. I think it's 8 rounds as well. It's an 8-round fight. And that favours Silva, in my opinion. Jake Paul might be a guy that will tend to slow down, but I think Jake Paul's just going to be... He's going to be landing with the heavier shots. You know? He's just going to be hitting harder. And the thing with Jake Paul, with his brand, is he has to win. If Jake Paul loses, the facade... I don't know if that's the right word. The character's over. You know? The game's up. Jake Paul loses, he'll never get to fight Tommy Fury. Jake Paul loses... A lot of these MMA fighters will probably still want to fight him. But, yeah, I think if Jake Paul loses, though, he'll never get that Tommy Fury fight. You know, he'll never get these massive fights. So Jake Paul's got to keep winning if he wants to keep moving forward in his career, and I think he knows that. And I think that's why he's so committed to boxing these days. He's got a world-class team behind him, and that's what people don't know. He hides that. But, I genuinely think Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva. I'm gonna pick by KO. By TKO, I think he's going to hurt him to the body first, and then work his way upstairs. Yeah, it's tough. But I think after this, maybe Jake Paul fights like Mike Perry. That would be funny. Jake Paul versus Mike Perry could be a good fight. Maybe like Jake Paul. Who else is calling him out? There's quite a few guys calling him out. I think Michael Bisping wants to fight him, but I don't think anyone wants to watch that. I think Bisping's a little bit too far gone now for even Jake Paul to fight, to be honest. I think Paul versus Perry would be a great boxing fight, honestly. Maybe you could pursue the Tommy Fury fight, that would be cool, or Jake Paul versus KSI. Jake Paul would dominate KSI. I like people overrate KSI's boxing ability, in my opinion, big time. I think Jake Paul is potentially underrated in this fight. I could look dumb, but I've got to pick Jake Paul just because he's so much younger. He's got the youth on his side. I know Silva's also got a world-class team behind him, but Paul's the one making the rapid improvements in this matchup. So we've only talked for about 5 minutes now about this one fight. let's look through the let's just look through the next few fights. I mean, I can't really speak on these guys here. I know Ashton Silva's like some insane prospect. I believe this guy's 18 years old and he's 7-0. I don't think he's fought anyone as good as Braulio Rodriguez though, so I'm actually very interested in watching that fight. That's on the prelims. I'm from New Zealand. I can't even buy the pay-per-view in New Zealand, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to watch these fights. But that's one I really want to watch. I really want to watch Ashton Silva versus Braulio Rodriguez. I'm looking forward to that. But another one you got is Chris Avila versus Mikhail Varshavsky. This guy is a YouTuber. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what he makes on YouTube, but he's a YouTuber. And Chris Avila is a former UFC fighter. Actually, no, I don't think he's a former UFC fighter. I think he's a former Bellator fighter. But I know that he's I know that he's a teammate of he's a teammate of someone. I know that he knocked out Darren Till backstage behind UFC 279. Not many people know that. But, yeah. Darren Till was knocked out by Chris Avila backstage. This guy knocked out Darren Till on that UFC 279 scuffle, which is pretty funny. But, yeah, I'm picking Chris Avila to win this fight. He's a former fighter. I think he'll be taking this matchup potentially a little bit more seriously. Mikhail Varshavsky is 6'3". That's probably quite important as well to note. He's going to be a lot bigger than Chris Avila, but I just think that Chris Avila just being a fighter and Mikhail Varshavsky being a YouTuber makes a bit of a difference in this one here. I know that's like the same Jake Paul, Anderson Silva sort of thing, but I've got to go with Avila in this matchup. So many people picking Varshavsky. Maybe it's just the size, or maybe Varshavsky's like some sort of sports YouTuber that I don't know about, but he's called Dr. Mike. So I'm assuming he talks about like doctor stuff, like health stuff, I don't know. Uriah Hall taking on Le'Veon Bell. I'd never heard of Le'Veon Bell until this matchup was made, and to be honest though, I don't actually really know who he is. I think he's a football player. Let me Google him real quick. Football player. Is he? American football running back. So I've got absolutely no idea what that means. It looks like he actually just started playing recently. It said he's joined in 2021. So maybe this guy's like a new football player that just started last year or something. Yeah, so I think Le'Veon Bell, he's fought in the past maybe. He just said, I'll show the world again on Twitter. So I have no idea if he's fought before. I genuinely have no idea who this guy is. I'm just picking Uriah Hall because he's a former fighter. But here's the thing. Wait, did Le'Veon Bell fight someone? I need to find out. Never heard of this guy before. He knocked out some guy called AP. I don't know who AP is either. Yeah, anyway. He's going to be fighting Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall, obviously that former UFC fighter that we all know and love. But Uriah Hall's tentative. If Uriah Hall loses to Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be a really bad look for the sport, in my opinion. Uriah Hall's a former ranked fighter. I think he was even ranked when he fought Muniz. He was ranked when he fought Strickland. He beat Chris Weidman. He beat Anderson Silva as well in 2020. If he loses to Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be such a bad look for the sport. I'm only picking Uriah Hall because he's the former fighter, to be honest. He really should win. But if he gets tentative, I feel like this could be a bad look for him. But Uriah Hall's a striker. You know, he's got no takedowns to worry about here. He's only got to worry about the boxing. I think he should be able to beat Le'Veon Bell. Yeah, he's just the former fighter out of the two. I think that's really important. Maybe Uriah Hall can make a little bit of a bag out of boxing. Maybe he can make a little bit of money for himself. That could be cool. Maybe like Uriah Hall versus oh no, I don't want to say it. Uriah Hall versus Jake Paul. Maybe Uriah Hall. He won't do it. Maybe Uriah wins, calls out Jake Paul or something like that, makes something happen. But yeah, aside from that, I don't really know. But this Ashton Silva guy, I want to watch this guy fight. Like this guy is he's 7-0. He's 18 years old. I'm looking forward to it, man. He's getting early KOs too. This guy might be like a future star. Do you guys know who this guy is? I don't really know him, but he hasn't fought anyone as good as the 20-4 opponent that he's fighting this weekend. You know, he's beaten guys with just guys that he should be able to beat. You know what I mean? Like 3-31. That doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this guy fight, man. Like maybe he can maybe he can prove something, or maybe he can't beat someone that's 20-4. But I don't know how padded Braulio Rodriguez fight record is either. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the whole card in the comments. I'm looking forward to this Looking forward to this card. Looking forward to Jake Paul versus Silva. Looking forward to Silva fighting. Looking forward to Bellator. Looking forward to UFC. Whew, should be good. Let me know what you think.